Hello, and welcome to the Great Game Debate Podcast, where friends come together to talk about video games and our lives. I'm your host, as usual, Caden Berthelane, and joining me, as always, is the godfather of the debate, Jonah Gomez. How you doing, buddy?
I like that slow and sultry intro you were
Yeah,
doing, man.
changing
That was
it up a
nice.
little.
That was
Got a
nice.
Cozy
nice
vibes.
I'm doing all right, man. Had a long week. The snow's finally all melted and stuff. Work's all caught up. Doing all right. Ready for this 3-day weekend.
All right, and of course, we are joined by the Saucy Aussie, Stephen Beaumont. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Obviously, the world could be a little bit better. Just remind to everyone that trans lives matter.
Trans lives matter.
Be nice to people.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, for sure. And of course, our newest member and resident No Man's Sky sicko, Mateo. How you doing, buddy?
Dude, I have been so stuck on No Man's Sky lately. You know the other thing I've been addicted to recently, though? Bob Ross has a YouTube channel.
Yes.
And they're doing a weekend-long 20 marathon of just old Bob Ross episodes.
Oh, wow.
I had it on when we recorded with the One Up podcast yesterday. Too distracting. It's not on the screen this time, I swear.
There's a really good doc on that. I think it's on Netflix. I don't remember what it's called, though, but it was nice because it just affirms that he was just like a good person, and it's like someone you can actually respect as a hero. You know, it's always nice to have those.
It's kind of sad too, because the dude.
He was taken advantage of like left and right.
Yeah.
That's
really
insane. Yeah,
that's like it's similar to like when you see old interviews with like Carl Sagan and stuff. And you're like, dude, this guy was insanely progressive. Like,
mm-hmm.
Carl Sagan,
Mr. Rogers. We got Bob Ross. We got Carl Sagan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, gentlemen, we're flying solo this week. Our guest unfortunately fell through due to some issues that came up last minute, but I always like these little pods when they come up when a guest doesn't work out, because it's just like cozy, non-stressful vibes with the boys. You know, get to dive a little deeper with the homies. So we'll just jump into a couple of community questions here. I hope you guys remember to bring your 6-foot wide attaché case stuffed full of a $100,000 single-use RPG, because it's time for the icebreaker. Resident Evil 4 is in the air.
That'll make sense later.
Yeah. Our first icebreaker question comes in from a community member, Dash Revolver on Twitter. Shout out. The question is, do you get excited about all of the Star Wars, Marvel, DC, etc. games being announced, or are you feeling the licensed IP fatigue? Seems like a timely question. We got Suicide Squad coming out. The big reveal on that kind of felt like it slapped the ground like a wet blanket. And Star Wars, what's the new Star Wars game? Jedi Survivor?
Yeah.
Survivor.
Yeah, so that's coming out. You guys got any hot takes about IP fatigue? Are you still jazzed as ever?
I do. I am tired of the Star Wars. I like what Respawn's doing with the Jedi Survivor. It's nice that they're doing like original stuff and creating new stories in the world and whatnot. That being said, I'm also not like the biggest Star Wars person. I'm definitely getting tired of the superhero stuff, like when it comes to movies, books, like everything. I'm just
Spider-Man's holding it down though.
Yes.
That's the best.
I will always be there for Spider-Man. That being said, I am so excited for Machine Games and Indiana Jones, dude.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yes.
What are some other games Machine Games has done?
Oh, the Wolfenstein. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. There's no reason for it to not be good in that case.
And then we also got IO Interactive bringing James Bond, doing 007, like just absolutely home run after home run with the Hitman trilogy that's come out recently.
Yeah.
I think
that's going to be interesting.
James Bond game in that style is going to be so sick.
So is the problem where you're actually just fatigued with Star Wars and Marvel and DC?
I think it is
Indiana Jones.
It is actually IP to IP. I definitely I don't care about Marvel at all. my wife will start watching one of the new ones if it drops on Disney Plus, and I'm just like, oh yeah, that seems okay, and I'll just walk out. Like, especially all the one, like a lot of people have said it, a lot of different discourse around like the volume and just how obvious it. Like, it feels like you're watching the Star Wars prequel trilogy a lot of the time in all the new Marvel movies, because it's like you're just on a very small set, like you're barely doing any location shots because of COVID and all that sort of stuff, and it's just like it's just tiring, and everything is fantastical. And it's funny because it was the biggest fear of when they were going to launch the DCU, whatever, was just the idea that all of the characters, the cosmic characters, like they're all like god level powers except for Batman, and that's why Batman's always worked, because ground level, and everything else is so cosmic, and it's always got to be special effects and just punching a puppet, sort of thing. And that's where Marvel's gotten to, and it is. I just don't care. I just have no investment. Yeah.
I want to be excited for some of these Marvel things because I do love Marvel, but a lot of it is a lot of it is boring, and like even the Marvel movies lately, like it is flying people shooting glowy beams at each other.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's everyone. Yeah. That's every character.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, it's like I don't need to see that. I'm one of the biggest freaking Bat Family fans. Like I've got comic books coming out of my ears of Bat Family. I'm back rereading Grace It Again, and it's freaking phenomenal. I love that. But again, I like the grounded stuff from Batman. But at the same time, I got to Arkham Knight and was like, yeah, I'm cool. Like, and I also played a little bit of Origins. Like, yeah, I'm cool. I got to play Asylum, phenomenal game. Then City open world, and it was phenomenal again. And I'm like, I've got my fill. Like, so for me, I haven't yet gotten my fill of Spider-Man, but I've only played the. And luckily, Miles Morales is shorter, so I feel like it's like, again, you're not going to get over it. Yeah, but maybe after Spider-Man 2, I will be like, cool, I could have like 6 years off.
And then Spider-Man. You'll be ready for Wolverine when it comes out.
Exactly.
I forgot about that one.
At least Insomniac's thinking of doing something. And obviously, they're doing the big hitters, but it would be nice.
Spider-Man to bed.
Like, it would be nice because everyone trusts Insomniac now. Like, you could do a lesser known.
It's like I don't care what it is. Insomniac's making it.
Because like obviously, Wolverine's great. Visceral attacks are going to be phenomenal, cutting people up and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like almost every other X-Men character has cooler powers than Wolverine. It's just that Wolverine's a killer.
And we're probably going to see that same combat style we see in every game now, right? The enemies are going to attack you, and they're going to flash yellow or red or something. Like it's. I am a little tired of that combat system. I want something new.
But that's why Bond sounds cool because it's like, okay, the sandboxes of Hitman were phenomenal, but what about a directed sandbox? Because obviously you want to get from point A to point B with Bond, and you want to again travel the world like you do in Hitman, but it needs to be a bit more guided, maybe with some side objectives. Hey, a bit of 64 coming back, hell yeah. But that I'm super hyped on, and I love Indiana Jones. If I get to punch a Nazi into a freaking spinning plane blade, hell yeah, let's go for it.
Will there be? Sorry.
No, go ahead. I do have something.
Will there be a Bond skin in the IO Interactive Bond game that's like the N64 Bond?
Oh, that would be so sweet.
Again, licensing nightmares, but
Yeah. What were you just gonna say, John?
So I think there are IP that have really good potential that haven't been like put into games very well. I understand all the Jurassic Park stuff. It makes sense. Park creator. Super cool concept. You're having to make the dinosaurs and whatnot and crossbreed and do all this stuff.
Yeah.
But what if you let's go into a world where we've got an alien isolation, but instead of aliens, it's just a different dinosaurs that you come across in like the first Jurassic
It's
Park.
Just basically like the raptors in the kitchen.
It's
the first movie, the game,
like a stealthy survival
playing
or something.
Because that's the thing. Like there are so many horror parts to those films. Like especially whenever they're in a bunch of ferns, it's just like, oh man, what's gonna come out? Like,
or so even if you kind of go like Resident Evil 7 village style with it, where you do end up getting guns, but it's still spooky because you got dinosaurs creeping around. It's spooky, but like being able to fight back eventually, like that would be so sweet.
I don't know if this is just my normal like counterculture freaking mentality, but I just thought of something that depressed me with the Bond game. Okay, do they create like with Spider-Man PS4 their own Bond, or because they'll be launching a movie somewhere around the time with the new Bond, and it's like Tom Holland or something like that, and you're playing as Tom Holland Bond.
Don't put that out into the universe.
I know. Because like we could have had Idris
Elba as Bond. We could have had
Idris Elba. I know, and that's the thing. Look, if I was Idris Elba Bond, hell yeah, I'll be stoked. But I almost want it to be their own Bond, just some suave-looking dude with a bit of a mop of hair.
That would be so sick if they just like dropped it at like E3 or something, and they're like IO Interactive, and it happens to be a black Bond. I think that would be so sick, dude. That would
just
be so
retap Idris Elba to play the game.
Yeah, he can be the game world.
We truly live in the dark Bizarro timeline when like Idris Elba is not James Bond, but he's Knuckles the Echidna. How did that happen?
Well, the hardest thing is just that every actor right now that is absolutely killing it is old. Like Tom Hiddleston is old. Idris Elba is old. Like it and kind of Daniel Craig was at the end of the age spectrum realistically when he started playing it in Casino Royale, like and so it's just so hard because all the best actors, Tom Hardy and stuff like that, are old, like Cillian Murphy, it's just like all these phenomenal actors, and they've got like 2 Bonds in them, like, or one, which would be fine. Hey, if we got an Idris Elba, a Cillian Murphy, a Tom Bond, I'd be like, yeah, that's dope.
Well, there you go. I guess to the question, do we have licensed IP fatigue? The answer is give us Idris Elba Bond.
Yeah. Give us something new is, I think, the thing.
Yeah. I think that's the nail on the head for me, because it's like, it's not really like there's anything wrong with like DC, for example. It's like, it's the games that they're making with the IP. It's like you look at Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad, and it's like basically the same game, and it's just like boring.
You couldn't upset me more with what they did.
Yeah,
both Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad, especially like to mishandle Court of Owls, which is one of the best freaking Batman stories in like the last 15 years. Like, shout out to Scott Snyder, absolutely dope.
15 frames per second riding around on your motorcycle.
Yeah, and supposedly just wasn't great. Like,
I don't understand why they went that direction with Suicide Squad, that game. Like the gameplay footage started, and it was nothing what I was expecting from that game.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like you go 7 years ago, and they're like, "Oh my god, all this gas, this games as a service is popping off," and like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna make one of those, and we're gonna cash in." And like, yeah, sweet. And then it just takes a very long time to develop a really pristine looking game, and it does look amazing, except for all the purple. But like, just guns.
They needed villains the game, like,
and you're using guns
10 years ago.
Deadshot makes sense.
Steven, I've got a dumb little gamer brain. If those weak points aren't glowing purple, how am I going to know what to shoot at?
If it's not a big eye.
My biggest issue.
I love weak points. I love them.
My biggest issue with that game is it looks like they did a really good job with the characters too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they just dropped the ball with gameplay, and that's the most frustrating part. Because Captain Boomerang, I don't know who that is. He looks like a freaking sweet character, and I want to experience his story and know more about him through this game, but the game looks like garbage. Like, I just don't want to play another Destiny, you
literally only would tweak and upgrade the Batarang mechanic to have him as Captain Boomerang. It's like he'd just be throwing batarangs, quote unquote, and maybe you could have a catch mechanic. If you had a catch mechanic like in there's not a catch mechanic in Breath of the Wild, but you can catch the boomerangs. Like, hard, but you can catch them. But like, if you had a catch mechanic where then the next one's a or something, like that'd be dope. Like throw a boomerang.
It's just the problem is it's all watered down because they have to have 4 characters, and so they're like, let's just give them all the same gameplay and like 1 power, you know?
Yeah, and it's not like he's using his boomerang to like fight. He's just using it to teleport. That's all he uses it for in the game.
Dumb.
Yeah, it's goofy.
Yeah.
But like it's amazing that I said, at least they'll learn from Avengers, and it's like they took the opposite. It's like Avengers at least had unique moves.
The snowball got too big by then, you know. They're like, oh, people sure don't like that, and then they're like, well,
And then like, well, clearly they don't like characters with unique powers. Like, no, that's not what we didn't like about Avengers. We didn't like fighting robots. That's what we didn't like about Avengers. Like, God.
All right. Well, thanks to Dash for the question. Next question coming in from Traveling Snowman in the Discord shutout. This one will be a more positive question, I think. I love getting immersed in a game world and spending time there. As someone who has spent a few hundred hours in the world of The Witcher 3, that is certainly a sensation that made me stick around for a long time. What have been your favorite games to be immersed in?
Dude, that's easy.
Want to jump in here?
Suicide Squad. I cannot wait to be covered in
You're going to be able to spend 200
battle
hours
pass immersion.
Yeah. Max out your gear rating, prestige, start over, you know.
Oh, I can't wait to prestige and
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw a curveball at Jonah.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
But when you have some dumb fun just RPing in Fortnite, like just going for a fish with your mates.
Yeah.
Or
like when they had like the quad bikes and you just jump on a quad bike and do jumps with your mates. Whatever stupid mechanic they added that season
Fish a shark
like
out.
Some of the best parts of actually playing Fortnite is not doing the objective.
Yeah,
right.
Not
just
trying to
off.
win.
Yeah.
Honestly, some of it is like today. They put a 6-shooter in for like the last couple weeks, and so you've got like this cool cowboy 6-shooter that you're fanning the hammer on, and it's super accurate. Cool. You can shoot really far with it. It's awesome, but because it takes like the rifle ammo, it counts as a rifle. But it also counts as the pistols. So with the augments now, you can stack up rifle and pistol augments.
Ooh.
So you can get like the first shot that does double damage, and then you can get like the last 2 shots in the mag do extra damage. And so like your first shot and your last 2 are just like absolutely destroying people. But like just trying to re-roll to get those perks to drop is like super fun. And yeah, like I love that game has quests and you get to actually get immersed in like the story, the overall story of Fortnite, which a lot of people that don't play the game just look at it like, oh, it's just a battle royale, but it does have like kind of an interesting story with like the rifts and everything that's going on between the different worlds that you go through and why the world changes every season. They write it in and it's super cool.
Heck yeah, no, I think they have such a unique thing going on with like just the tone of that game, because you can't like, you know, if you're playing like Call of Duty Warzone, it's just not going to make any sense for you to drop by the edge of the ocean and fish a mutant shark out and like water ski the shark across the map. You know, it's like it's just only in Fortnite kind of thing. So yeah.
But yeah, for me, obviously, stock standard answers, but Skyrim.
Yeah,
like deciding that I'm going to be an armorer for the first 20 hours and just like get your armor to 99. No, I did it legit. Everyone else was doing daggers because they found out later. I did it straight away. I went and mined for a while, and then I went and just bought like ebony ingots and like went freaking. I went proper. Was buying the most expensive shit, making the most expensive stuff. Yeah,
respecting the craft.
Skyrim is such a good answer. There's so much. There's so much going on there.
I was a bit upset with the house building when they added that DLC. It wasn't that.
You remember the mannequins were like glitched because they were just coded like NPCs. So your mannequins would come alive and start walking around the house and talking to you. What? Yeah, you should look that up because the game would just like glitch and then give like NPC behavior to the mannequins. You know?
Oh god, that's a nightmare right there. Dude.
Could you imagine playing at 3:00 in the morning and not being aware of that glitch? The game would turn into a horror game for you.
What's going on? So I went way down the rabbit hole in Skyrim modding at one point where I was like let's change out the map for like a hand-drawn map that doesn't have like a player marker on it, and I have to use landmarks, and like there's no fast travel, and I gotta like have a horse and like pay wagons to take me from town to town, and let's use Live Another Life and start the game just as like a random farmer out in the middle of nowhere. And I had like you could get a mod for an in-game journal, and I'd end every session by typing up like an in-universe like first-person like journal entry of what happened. You know, like, way down the rabbit hole.
That's awesome.
And that's when Caden started DMing.
Being like, like that, a closeted super nerd and reading about like PC but not having a PC. Like, oh man, we've got mods like, so like, cold weather affects you, so you got to wear like pelts and different things like that. And I was like, oh, that's so dope, because like that's one thing I miss from that immersion that they don't have. Like with like bring up Breath of the Wild, but just at the start, you go up the cold mountain and you start freezing and you start losing health, and it's like you can eat chili, or you can freaking have a hot, or you could also go get a pelt and put it on, and like that, just those little things that could be added and usually are added by mods. I love those things.
Or you go put like a flame sword on, and just having it equipped is enough to keep you warm in places.
So that's rad.
This reminds me, I just saw a story. Shout out to Zeltic, I think. Zeltic on YouTube.
God,
this is just straight from his. Yeah, he's cranking out the Zelda content. But it's a story about Miyamoto and IG Aonuma having a conversation while they were working on Ocarina of Time. And like, IG Aonuma's like, been working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, overtime, like trying to get the water temple to like work out. And then like Miyamoto kind of saunters up to him. He's like, hey man, wouldn't it be cool if you could like horizontally cut a sign and it cuts horizontally, or you could vertically cut a sign and it cuts vertically, and then like the part that you cut off would like float on the water? And IG Aonuma's like, do you want me to work on this right now? Because I'm kind of in the middle. And they're just kind of talking about how that sign cutting analogy was sort of like the basis of what Breath of the Wild is. It's like, let's take that mentality of just it being a sandbox and physics simulation and like turning that into a game.
Hell yeah.
Okay,
I think that goes a lot.
That's the good story of it. But like that just shows you like the Miyamoto mentality and why he also has the tendency to ruin some IP.
Sure.
Because he just walks up and goes, what if you could look around the cockpit in Star Fox? It's like, no.
That being said, I love that mechanic in Ocarina of Time, dude.
Oh,
just walking up and you're like,
cool.
I'm gonna angle it. And, now I've turned the sign into an arrow. Sick.
Yeah. Seriously, since Steven already took Skyrim, I think my answer would be Breath of the Wild. I don't think it's like the best. It's one of the best overall games, but something like Elden Ring, I think, is like an overall better game. But in terms of immersion, just
you don't sit there and go back to your house.
You can't like chop a tree down in Elden Ring and stand on it, and then like store kinetic energy on it, and then fly across the air on your tree trunk from mountaintop to mountaintop. Like just the sandbox physics.
No Man's Sky is in my head recently as like the answer to this question, and it's a good one, right? Because you can go around. Absolutely. There's the whole language aspect where you learn languages, and it drives me because I want to know what the hell these people are saying to me, and I don't know what they're saying, so it drives me to go and discover more of this stuff. There's so much in that game, but I think my honest answer might be Valheim. No game has drawn me in as much as Valheim recently.
I so want to play that. Oh god, I want to play that.
It's something else, man. We would play that game for hours, and I'd have like Viking music playing from my Spotify, and it drew me into the world. I was a Viking warrior just wandering around exploring.
And like it feels like you could be pretty chill just hanging out at the starting area and just build a wooden castle like without much. It doesn't seem like your base really gets attacked as long as you're in a chill area. Is that
for the most part, there like your base will get attacked, but it's nothing super crazy most of the time. Especially like by the point that like big trolls and things are attacking you, you're geared up. You have animals at the base and things like that. Plus, it's a multiplayer experience, right? So like I was the explorer. One of my buddies loved base building. He would go full sweaty, and he'd put in 6 hours just building the base. And I'd go explore. I'd come back with a bunch of supplies, and here is like this new extension to the base.
Bless your heart.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think my answer, I know I talked about Fortnite and rambled on about it, but my actual answer is gonna have to be Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah,
that game in a whole, even with like the extended content, that is the best of the Fallout series in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Obsidian,
let's go.
I've always had that opinion. I know a lot of people are like, no, Fallout 3 is way better than Fallout New Vegas, and I'm like, it's actually not.
I thought New Vegas was cool before it was cool to think Fallout New Vegas was cool.
No, but honestly, like I've had a lot of friends that have been like, oh, you like Fallout New Vegas more than Fallout 3? And I was like, yeah,
that's so weird. I always thought the popular opinion was that Vegas
way
is the best
better. And until like I think it was after like the Game of the Year edition of it came out and everyone actually got to play the DLCs and stuff. Like then everyone's like, oh yeah, this is way better because the Fallout 3, it had really good DLC, but it was nothing compared to New Vegas's. And then like just the writing was so much better in New Vegas.
Yeah, it's really the quest writing in New Vegas.
Yeah, Fallout 3 was missing a little bit of the special sauce because Fallout 1 and 2, it was a very dark world, but it was also a funny world. And I feel like Fallout 3 was missing a little bit of that spice. Fallout New Vegas picked it back up.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Did the DLCs for New Vegas add color?
No.
Or just more brown, just different shades of brown.
Yeah, no, that's a great answer. I mean, Fallout for the same reasons as Skyrim, and you can get lost in the modding and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool. All right. Well, thanks to the community for the questions. I'll turn things over now to our debate judge.
Welcome back to the debate. In this debate, we're going to go to our tournament bracket to cover our results. We had Otacon versus the Merchant from Resident Evil 4, which that was my suggestion. So, representing the Merchant is my boy, Caden Berthe Lane, versus Mateo, who will be representing Otacon. We already flipped a coin, and Mateo, you chose to start first. I don't need to cover the rules because it is the main crew, and guess what I did? I don't know where to put my phone.
A timer?
Yeah.
While you're looking for a timer, I'll give some more backstory. This tournament we had in the Discord was like best NPCs that weren't playable or didn't fight with you, but still provided a function aside from just being able to talk to them into the game, and it was pretty cutthroat. We had all the Souls girls in there. We had like the Doll and Ronnie and like the Emerald Herald and Black Maiden. Who are some of the others NPCs?
Catch a ride.
Yep, Scooter, Gray Fox. We had Tom Nook. And it was a bloodbath, but it all boiled down to the Resident Evil 4 Merchant. And why can't I remember the other one? Otacon. Yeah. So,
or as Dad would say, Otacon.
Otacon. Yeah. So shout out Resident Evil 4.
All right, I got 2 minutes on the clock. Mateo also. We have Steven as the assist trophy. Yeah, 2 minutes, sir. 3, 2, 1, debate.
So let's talk about our boy Dr. Hal Emmerich, Otacon, I guess, the original otaku. Look, Snake we wouldn't see any of the games past the first one. We wouldn't see anything past the tanker incident if Otacon didn't exist. He's literally dragging our boy Solid Snake through this entire series. He sacrifices at least one of his loves through the course of this game. I think 2 in one of the games that I did not play. He is so vital to the story. The amount of times the Snake would have died without him in the elevator after the stealth suit theft, he would have just been demolished. The tanker explodes. He would have drowned in the ocean. Like Otacon was the most important support character for Snake. He might be the most important support character in just all of gaming in general. I'm going to tell you why this man is such a good support person. He is so dedicated to the role of being the guy in the chair, the person supporting from behind the scenes. He followed Snake into the Smash Bros tournaments. He is a straight up assist in the Smash Bros. Tournaments because he is just so intent on following his boy Snake over there. That's dedication. You don't see that in a lot of characters. You're telling me the merchant is gonna follow I don't know, whoever the character is the Resident Evil TV into whatever the version of Smash Bros would be. I'll yield my time there.
All right, leaving 25 seconds on the clock.
Come up with the heat already.
I threw myself off completely there at the last bit.
No. Man, that's such a strong argument. Like, basically, like, the merchant nor Leon even got the invite to Smash. You know, what more needs to be said?
A literal assist trophy. So, yeah.
Caden, you got 2 minutes on the clock, sir.
All right.
3, 2, 1, debate.
All right. As far as Otacon goes, I think at the end of the day, Snake is a genetic clone of the Ultimate Soldier. I think if Otacon was just decapitated by Gray Fox, Snake would have found a way, but Leon literally just would be completely screwed without the Merchant. He'd be rolling in with a handgun and a knife, and that's it. Merchant, if Otacon is the original weeb incel, then the merchant's just like a Chad, dude. He just exudes confidence and positivity. Dude must be supernatural. His eyes glow red. He essentially is the Solid Snake of Metal Gear because he's able to move undetected and unharmed throughout the hostile territory of the infected in Resident Evil 4. Who knows where he gets his gear from? Perhaps he makes it himself. I don't know. Perhaps he, teleports out of Spain to like an arms dealer and teleports back. He's able to outpace Leon and is always ahead of Leon wherever Leon is going. I don't know why the merchant doesn't defeat the cultists himself. He should be a playable character in Mercenaries. Like, it's incredible. Yeah. What more do you? How much time I got here?
You've got 30 seconds.
All right, merchant. Dude even has somehow built like a secret base into the bad guy's castle, like a gun range that the bad guy doesn't even know about, and offers Leon its use free of charge with infinite ammo to practice his marksmanship as much as he needs. What a guy, the merchant. And we'll call it there.
All right, leaving 10 seconds on the clock.
He's got a Pokemon Gen 3 secret base.
All right, Mateo, we're going into round 2, which is the rebuttal. You've got 2 minutes on the clock. Reminder, you still have Steven as your assist trophy. Go ahead and pop him when you would like. You've got 2 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, 1, debate.
So first off, I want to address these rumors that Otacon is a dweeb and an incel and unbearable. And I want to remind everyone that during the time of the Shadow Moses incident, the man was 25. Think of all the cringy stuff.
Yeah.
Censoring myself there so Jonah doesn't have to. That you did when you were 25.
Yeah.
You want to talk about growth? By the end of the Metal Gear Solid series, he's adopted a cybernetic daughter, I think. It's just, is it not? I saw
She's
that
just
he
a
had,
genius. She's really smart. She's a software Jew. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so but he's a father. Think of all the growth in that time period. And sure, the man probably likes anime a little bit too much, but who doesn't? We've got a literal channel here that I'm looking at that's called Anime and Flims.
Mm-hmm.
Second off, the merchant is just he's problematic. He is just a pure capitalist. He's taken advantage of the situation. He could be providing these weapons for free to help save the world, but he's still making money off of it. Probably acquiring them from shady means. Maybe he stole these weapons that Leon was supposed to get himself naturally, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to charge you money for these weapons." And one final point to make here before we pop Steven. I'm reading this Reddit post that says, Resident Evil 4, no merchant review. And I will say that the first sentence in this says, the game is fundamentally different experience without the merchant, more negative. But the man does complete the game without using the merchant, so it is possible. So I would say he's not as integral to the campaign as needed.
Damn.
Steven, go ahead and pop yourself.
Yeah, so obviously you are correct, and all the positive points that Caden brought up are the negative points. He obviously has Octo Camo, and he doesn't offer it to Leon in the game, because how is he putting all these blue plates just up in the trees, just walking around all these Ganado farmers that are just hell-bent on killing me, but he won't help me and like give me a stealth suit, or he's obviously got some underground tunnels. Like, why is he not helping me more? Like, why can't I purchase these experiences from him to make my job a lot easier?
I started your time a little bit late. You've got about 20 seconds.
Okay, I just want to make one more wild accusation here. How do we know that the merchant is not playing both sides? Are we sure he's not providing weapons and assistance to both sides, and he's just making all the money in the world? And I yield the rest of my time.
Dang.
I was going to bring up Ada Wong and the relationship. Yeah.
Breaking down the character of the merchant, undercutting his respect.
First assist trophy used. All right, Caden, you got 2 minutes on the clock. You still have Steven to use at any point. 3, 2, 1, debate.
All right, Otacon's got some problems, man. He just seems to like him and his whole family just seem cursed. You know, they're contributing to a lot. You could argue that the Metal Gear series, like Snake wouldn't even have any problems if it weren't for Otacon and his dad. Like, his dad developed the first Metal Gears. Otacon designed and helped build the Metal Gear Rex. So, like, you know, eventually it's at least good that he recognizes that what he's doing is wrong and helps stop them. But he kind of like caused the problem. I mean, it's pretty bad when you're like an ultimate war crime dude making bipedal walking tanks that are like nuking the surface of the earth. I mean, how can you respect somebody like that? You know, all the merchant is you know, secondhand nuking is the final mutant boss with a RPG. You know, like there's nothing dishonorable about that. I think like Otacon was like too busy like having sex with his stepmother that his sister almost drowned, and like the fact that he was having a relationship with his stepmother made his dad like kill himself. Like, wow. Dude's got serious problems. It's hard to like put somebody like that on a pedestal and make a role model for young children these days, you know? Like, so let's keep it where it's at, you know. Self-made man, self-employed, you know, lifted himself up by his own bootstraps. We're talking about RE4 the merchant. You know, a venture capitalist, an entrepreneur. He sees opportunity where others would see none and flee for their lives. Absolute Chad the merchant. Vote merchant.
You gonna pop me?
Oh,
I think you
Steven,
forgot that it was the rebuttal.
All right,
I think
go ahead,
forgot that it was the rebuttal. Yeah, so obviously we've got to revert back to the Virgin versus Chad debate. And it is that simple. Like, can you see 25-year-old Otacon sewing a fleshlight into his body pillow? Of course you can. Can you see 25-year-old Merchant doing that? No, of course you can't, because he's a freaking Chad, mate. He just walk. He would pick up all the Ganados, tentacles and all. No dramas. No body pillows here.
Yeah, he doesn't discriminate.
Oh, and also pissy pants.
Right, pissy pants. Just no context pissy pants for the people that don't know anything about Metal Gear.
No context pissy pants. I think we have a title.
Yes. That's the title. Got it.
All right, Mateo, round 3. Let's get ready for our closing thoughts. You've got 2 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, 1, go.
I just want to say that if that backstory that we were provided with about, you know, the stepmother is correct, then Otacon, canonically has had sex, so he can't be an incel. So we're just gonna take that right off the table. And I will say, it is probably wrong to build giant bipedal mechs that shoot nuclear weapons and destroy the Earth. But how rad would it be to build something like that and get to play around with it? Can you really blame
Sigma move? Yeah.
Can you really blame someone that grew up watching Gundam for wanting his own very Gundam to play around with? I don't think you can. Would anyone here not build a Gundam if we had the chance?
You got me.
See? So yeah, Otacon has some issues. He's a big old nerd. He's a dweeb. We would probably bully him. Bullying's not cool. Don't actually bully people. But we would still bully him, hypothetically. But he saves the world. He has literally saved the world multiple times. He's gonna live with Snake until the day that Snake dies, because Snake has that, accelerated lifespan, basically. It's an honorable move. I don't know if I would call it a Chad move, but it is definitely not a beta move. And I yield my time.
Leaving 35 seconds on the clock.
But bottoming to a top is not a beta move.
All right, let's close this very strange debate out. Caden, you've got 2 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, 1, debate.
All right, let's talk about quotability here. Otacon is not someone you want to quote. He has famous lines such as, "Can love bloom even on the battlefield?" or "I just wanted to build mechs like my Japanese animes." The Chad Merchant, on the other hand, has such famous lines as, "Over here, stranger. Got something that might interest ya. What are you buying? What are you selling? Not enough cash, stranger. Got some rare things on sale, stranger. A wise choice, mate. Its ammo will penetrate just about anything. Got a selection of good things on sale, stranger. Ah, choice of an avid gun collector. It's a nice gun, stranger. Ah, an awesome choice, stranger. It's got a 3-round rapid-fire capability, although it uses up ammo rather quickly. Stranger, stranger! Now that's a weapon! Not only will you need cash, but you'll need guts to buy that weapon. I see you have an eye for things. Gun's not just about shooting, it's about reloading. You know what I'm talking about. Stranger, what do you need that for? Going hunting an elephant? I'll buy it at a high price. Come back seconds. Anytime. I think I'll see the rest of my time.
Oh, you missed out on my favorite.
But you need to do it like rapid fire when you're rapidly selling all the stuff, so it's like flipping. It's like
I mean, you can flip back and forth between buy and sell. He's like, "What are you buying? What are you selling? What are you buying? What are you selling?"
My headcanon is that like Caden doesn't look up the script, and this is just he just knows every single line.
Got it in his head.
I at least have like the cadence,
Yeah.
All right. Steven, as a sis trophy, let's get your vote. Like, I'm super on the fence. I know I put Merchant out there, but I mean, Mateo, he repped Otacon really well.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like, NPC, helping out. Octo Camo, top tier. And yeah, coming in clutch at the right times, like with the codec. Yeah, really, really good stuff. I am a massive Merchant simp, but being the assist trophy and being told the fact that Otacon is an assist trophy, I've got to give it to Otacon.
Ooh.
Oh, that was a good
point. That was perfect. It was perfect.
All right. I'm going to go with Otacon on this one, honestly, just because Mateo's right. We said that he was an incel boy, but he had sex with his Stepmom, so he's not a virgin. He's still having sex. I mean, you told it yourself, Caden.
Instead of searching it on the hub, he was doing it.
You dug your own grave.
Yeah, for what it's worth, for full transparency here, I mean, I voted for Otacon in the community tournament, so yeah.
But
he's such a three-dimensional character. What I'm having to fall back on, basically Chad versus Virgin and reading quotes, but Otacon has this complex history of like bromance with Snake to discuss and unpack. I mean, it's hard, you know.
And honestly, this one's gonna be like really hard to decide because you both brought like your own heat on this debate, and like I said, I'm teetering on the fence. I'll probably switch sides when I listen back to the episode later. But like, this was such a good debate, and you guys freaking killed it.
This was a fun one. My notes here for the rebuttal say capitalist, dweeb, incel ?
Yeah, all the love for Otacon for real though. He's a dope dude.
All right. And if you guys would like to vote on this again, since this was a community voted topic, you can do that in the Cast Your Votes for this episode when it drops. But let's get back to last debate when it was Mateo's good boy DJ Doughy Fresh representing our Lord and Savior, the PS Vita, versus Steven, right? You debated? Yeah, Steven representing the DS. Winning by a whopping 4 points was the DS.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, Vita. Sorry, Doughy.
It was definitely a hard fight for the Vita. When you're choosing like one of the most underappreciated, consoles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that was our debate, and we'll see you in the pitch.
All right, folks. Hope you're ready for the pitch, wherein a few of us panelists will have 2 minutes to give a elevator pitch for a mystery game, and the rest of the panelists will decide based on the pitch if they would buy the game or not before the game is revealed. This week, I think we have myself and Steven. Do you have any strong preference going first or last, Steven?
Yeah, I might go second if that's all right.
All right. If you want to count me down, Jonah.
3, 2, 1, pitch.
All right. I want to take you on a journey into the Great Sea. I'm talking about on a boat. I'm talking about a sea chart. We got a big Great Sea with a sea chart. You're sailing from square to square on the sea chart. Maybe there's something there. Maybe there's not. There's an island or there's a fishing spot where you could send like a crane device underwater to pull treasure up out of the great ocean. It could be money. It could be a hint to the location of an island. Both the underwater treasure hunting on the Great Sea and the islands could even have parts for you to collect on them that increase your maximum HP. The vibes, the music, sometimes really it's about the mystery. Like, you don't know what's going to be on an island when you get there. They're really cute with it. Sometimes the islands are like shaped after iconic sort of images. Like there's an island that's shaped like a heart. You get a heart there that increases your HP, but you jump on the island, it's multi-leveled, it's like a puzzle. You're going over the whole island and like trying to solve the puzzle that gives you the heart. What else about the Great Sea? There's a sea tower
30 seconds.
In the Great Sea that's locked by there's a requirement to get into the sea tower where you need 3 orbs, and to get the 3 orbs you have to pass the test of power, wisdom, and courage, and that allows you to get into the tower in the middle of the Great Sea. And inside the sea tower, there's like remnants of an ancient civilization. It's just jolly vibes, exploration, open world. Great sea.
So now the question is, how is Caden trolling?
How am I trolling you?
Like, what mini game is this in a JRPG?
Yeah, because I mean, you just described Wind Waker.
Yep.
Is this game available on the Nintendo?
Yes.
What?
What? Oh, okay.
A triple what?
Okay. What? Okay. Well, then I am in because it's not Wind Waker.
Yeah.
I would have been in for Wind Waker as well, but what the heck?
I thought you were being real sneaky. I thought this was like the game Dredge. I thought you'd played like the demo of it, and you were like, "Dude, that game looks so sick. That game looks so sick."
Future pitch.
Is that the fishing horror game?
Yes.
Yeah.
I got my boy Toon Link right here, and that's who I thought you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in, but I'm curious.
I piqued your Wind Waker interest.
I'm also in, but I feel like I'm gonna regret it.
Hopefully this won't be a regret. This isn't a No More Heroes situation. That game's kind of regrettable. But no, this time what I've actually tricked you into buying is Paper Mario Origami King.
What?
I'm in.
Yeah, so
you do get out into the sea. Oh
yeah, this game really surprised me. For some reason, I felt like when it came out, reviews were kind of lukewarm, and I just kind of wrote it off. But shout out to our good buddy Wes, previous member of the podcast. He bought Paper Mario. For some reason, they mailed him 2 copies, so he just called me up. He's like, "Hey, you want a copy of Origami King?" So he mailed it to me, and I'm like, I mean, it's free. I'll play it. Really surprised me. What's great about this game is it just each chapter of the game is like really unique. Like it starts off pretty run of the mill. You're running around the forest, doing the temple, unlocking new abilities, fighting the bosses. But one of the chapters, you get on the boat and you go out, and it's just a straight up Wind Waker homage. It's the Great Sea. You got your sea chart. There's a sea tower. You literally have to get orbs from the trials of power, wisdom, and courage. It was such like a dopamine hit for me. I was just like, oh, Wind Waker's so good. So
that's so insane, dude.
Yeah. If you ever get a chance to play it, Jonah, I think you'd at least enjoy that portion of the game.
The boss battles are phenomenal in that game, and they really make you think. And I will look at I can't see the path.
Yeah, it's intense.
Then you can accidentally get there, but like, oh man, it gets brutal.
It's funny they kind of just give you an out halfway through, like basically at the halfway point in the game. They're like, are the combat puzzles too hard for you? Here's a free item that you could just turn on in the menu, and it'll just like automatically solve the combat puzzles for you. But unique combat system kind of gets old by the end, but the boss battles are all really killer. So yeah, cool game. Origami King,
aesthetically gorgeous.
Art direction's so strong. Yeah, Paper Mario. I need that 1,000-year door port. Let's go. All right, well, that's my pitch. Next up to the pitcher's mound will be Stephen Beaumont.
Got 2 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, 1, pitch.
So I recently had a little had to go back to my roots. I was just feeling like I just burnt through a few too many Metroidvanias. Needed something different, so I went back to just like a few of my comfort foods, and this one is one of my weirder comfort foods, which is it's a first-person game for starters, which I'm usually not about, but the level design of this game is so freaking awesome. You're talking like fantasy and gothic inspired stuff, and you're talking like snowy fields and just really tight, dark environments. So like, make sure you got that slider, brightness slider just at the right point, because it gets super intense. Really, really fun combat in this game. You're slinging guns. And yeah, I'd held off on this game for a long, and I'm so glad I did. And it's some insanely intense moments, visceral moments, and just like probably the most
30
offensive hand mutilations in a video game. And yeah, also a nice obese merchant as well. That's But yeah, no, been having an absolute blast with this recently, and it's just my comfort food, and I'm so glad I finally got to it. Phenomenal.
Time.
All right. Well, if I didn't know what the game was, I mean, you said it has great combat, so I mean that's usually enough to carry a game for me if the moment-to-moment combat is fun. But you say horror, first-person shooting, snowfields, tight quarters. I mean, I'm in. Sounds rad to me.
I think y'all just talked me into buying Resident Evil 2 and 3 and getting back into that series and trying it out. So I am proud. I feel like this one might be somewhere along the lines of those ones. So I think I'm in.
Hell yeah.
I've already bought, beat, and lent this game out to a friend. So
Nice.
yes.
Love is real.
Hell yeah. Yeah, so yeah, just downloaded Resident Evil 8 only the other week, a few days ago, and damn, tight, really tight. And it's interesting because it's one of the most slow-paced Resident Evil games, I would say. Like, there's a lot of fight mode, but I appreciate it because you can go and go back and find some secrets, go find some cool secret bosses. Like, yeah, pretty unique idea for Resident Evil that it has so much optional content. Like, there's obviously always the Magnum and stuff like that, but just so many times we can just stop, go away from the main story quest, and like just go do some other stuff that's really cool.
Sounds like it's bordering on open world almost a little bit, right? Like
a little bit.
It's like you'd think of God of War 2018, where you go to the middle of the lake, and then you just sort of go out in little different angles, and that's sort of what you do. But you can keep going back to them, and every now and again there might be an extra little bit that you can do.
I like that you said, not like you took a step away from Metroidvanias, even though this is like the most Metroidvania that Resident Evil has
of the Resident Evil games.
Because you go to an area, you get a new item, you come back into the hub world, and then you can use that item there. So.
Unfortunately, there's not quite. There's a couple bits of that, but mostly the key is main story quest. It's like you can only go to one place when you get the next main story quest key, and that's linear. But like there is a good amount of extra content, which has just been dope. But yeah, it's just a gorgeous looking game. Like my god.
Yeah, I'm so jealous of everybody on social media I've been seeing Hunter. He's got the PSVR 2 playing the VR version of this.
Dude, the shooting range that's in the VR version looks so fun.
Looks really cool, But yeah, I hadn't gotten spoiled on pretty much anything from the game, except for I think I saw a screenshot of the scary house that everyone kept on bringing up, and so I was like, okay, I got to that point. I know I'm here, and because I've heard the name before and I'd seen the screenshot, I'm like, I've got to watch a speedrun because I can't deal with this absolute
get me out of here.
The Outlast style survival horror where you can't fight back. And I was like, I have to watch a video. And then I watched the video. I'm like, I need to watch another video of someone like normally playing it, and then I'll like feel like good enough to.
And you're like, I need to hire someone to play through this section for me.
Was this your first time playing it?
Yeah, it's my first.
Oh, because you said you're going back to comfort food, so I assume you played it.
Resident Evil and I've been playing Pokemon and Resident Evil, both Pokemon and Resident Evil 2 like resets,
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Interesting little mix of games to do. Resident Evil and Pokemon.
Yeah.
I need to chill out. I'm gonna go play Resident Evil.
So I assume by this point that means. Oh wait, do you have to buy the DLC to get access to the third person mode?
No,
I think you do, right?
That's why I bought it. I bought it because Gold Edition was cheap, and I bought it for the third person mode. And I don't know how to activate it.
I think you can only do it in New Game Plus.
Interesting.
Because I was like, "Damn it, this is terrifying!" And I
it's
to do it. So every now and again, it's like this, like while I'm playing. I'm like,
Yeah, because
I look at the ground.
I think it's a mode that got added in later
It was.
Yeah,
it was. So you just have to beat the game the first time, and then it unlocks at the end.
Which will be fun because like New Game Plus will be interesting. It'll also be funny because sometimes like you're in a little boat or something. I'm like, I wonder how this is animated in third person. It probably looks terrible. Like, it's like... so I'm excited to play that.
Yeah,
it's been a blast. Obviously, House Beneviento or whatever.
Yeah,
terrifying.
everybody.
Even if you watch multiple videos of it, it's still terrifying.
Yeah, I think everyone should watch a playthrough of that on YouTube, even if you never plan to play this game, because it's just wild. It's iconic. Cool. Well, that's the pitch. Check them out. Old games are new again. Resident Evil Village and Paper Mario Origami King. And I'll turn things over to our resident game master, Steven, for the game.
It's time for the game, and got a especially fun one that we've done before. It's a 10, but which is to say, I will give out I'll be going over 5 different games, giving out a little description of something that is in the game, and you will tell me what the game is rated out of 10 based on the descriptions given. Mm-hmm. So, I'll just go in normal sequential order. Jonah, Mateo, Caden.
Let's go.
So let's get into it. It's a 10, Jonah, but objectivism and late stage capitalism design.
I don't even.
I was jokingly gonna say a 10, but I'd say let's say a 6.
It's a 6, Mateo, but underwater levels.
Ooh, I do love me some underwater levels. You get that nice like underwater soundtrack.
Oh, you
gonna bump it up to a 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a 7, Caden, but magical slug powers?
I mean, who doesn't love a magical slug? Let's go. I'm up at a point. It's an 8.
It's an 8, Jonah, with an Art Deco aesthetic.
See, I'm not smart enough to know what that means, so it's just gonna stay.
Think like 1920s.
Batman the Animated Series.
Oh,
Think
okay.
Batman the
okay.
Okay. Yeah, it'll stay 8, 8.5.
Okay. It's an 8.5, Mateo, but it has a top 5 video game twist.
A top 5 what?
Video game twist.
Oh. We'll take it down to a 7, I guess.
Oh.
You don't like
don't like twists.
Mateo? He's like, give it to me straight.
Like it is like one of the top 5.
It's a top 5.
I thought it was like a reused like top 5
No.
Cliche. Gotcha.
Okay, yeah, we'll take it up to 9. I thought that meant it was like a cliche.
I can agree with that. BioShock is a 9.
Yeah. It is the ultimate underwater level.
It gets 1 point off for the terrible final boss fight. Goldman.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. All right. So, Caden, it's a 10, but it's terrible that this landed on Caden.
Uh-oh.
2000's alternative soundtrack.
I don't know. People seem to like that. We'll leave it at 10. Gives me Sonic Adventures 2 vibes.
Nice.
Rolling around at the speed of sound.
Nice. It's a 10, Jonah, with a dense map to explore.
A dense map.
Dense map. No filler. All killer.
I'll say it's a 10.
Nice. It's a 10, Mateo, and it has drag races.
Ooh.
It has drag race. I guess it's still a 10. These all sound pretty rad.
It's a 10, Caden. Neon Underglow.
Ooh, who doesn't love a neon underglow? Let's go.
Yeah,
it's a 10.
It's a 10, Jonah, and it's the best Fast and Furious simulator ever.
Still a 10, I guess?
Family.
Need for Speed Underground 2 is a 10.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, which Need for Speed or which Midnight Club game is this?
Yeah.
That was like the last really good one, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you put them
that
in
was
front
mine.
of me,
that was definitely my one.
if you put it in front of me,
All right.
I think I would rather play Need for Speed than BioShock. It's like let's just have some fun.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the drag races were really cool. They were really simple, and they were in
Mm.
All right. It's a 10, Mateo, but it's got the old knee-high wall.
Oh, we'll take that down to a 7.
Talk about immersion breaking.
It's a 7, Caden, but all this crouching is going to hurt your knees.
Crouching makes me think of stealth sequences, which I don't like unless it's in a game called Metal Gear. So it's a 6.
It's a 6, Jonah, and all your shivs always break.
No.
It's a 6.
Oh damn! It's a 6, Mateo, but at least it's not as depressing as the sequel.
That brings it up to an 8, man.
Hell yeah!
Positivity.
And it's an 8, Caden, but it's one of the greatest video game stories ever told.
I mean, you know, narrative isn't everything, but you can't take away a point for having a great story. So let it float at an 8. You know.
Nice. And to be honest, I'm there.
Mm.
The Last of Us, I guess part 1 now is an 8.
That tracks for me.
When we replayed that game for Game Club, like a year ago or 2 years ago, man, when you go into that first like combat section and you just like see all of the knee-high walls, and it's like, oh man,
might as well have like snap cover from Gears of War.
Yeah. Oh that's like, and I still appreciate it because obviously the story is so phenomenal. But then after playing Last of Us 1 for the second time, you know, in whatever year, then I tried to play Gears of War 1, and then that was my breaking point with knee-high.
Enough. I'm done.
Not for me.
Can't do those. I have heard that that Last of Us is a much better experience. You play in like the hardest survival mode difficulty or whatever.
Just slows you down. But yeah,
never been able to.
I don't know.
It's
such a phenomenal story, but the combat just doesn't hold up as well. Like, and like when I was playing it for Game Club, I just noticed the instancing. Like, oh, you go into this door, and then the creatures spawn, even though you were stealthing the whole time. They just spawn the creatures, you know.
I do think the story is the highlight of the game. It's almost a shame that they didn't just make like a TV series instead of the game, but oh well, you know.
I don't know that we're gonna get a TV. I don't know that you can capture all the emotion of that game in like a TV series. I don't know how that would be doable, honestly.
Yeah, they'd have to like get like the guy who wrote the game to, but you know, he'd be too busy making a new game to do that.
Definitely too busy.
Yeah.
All right.
You could even do it, you know?
I think I'm up to Jonah. All right, we've got a couple more to go. It's a 10, but you can't dress up as a green dude.
You can't dress up as a green dude? I mean,
I love green dudes. Luigi.
Trust me, the green dudes are like my top dudes. I got Link and Luigi right here. We'll take it down to a 9.
It's a 9, but it has a silent protagonist.
We'll leave that at a 9. You know, because I'm kind of tired of all the quippy protagonists lately.
That is true.
That's a great point.
Yeah, it's a 9, Caden, but it's got a crew of meatheads you grow to love.
Oh man, I love Meathead Crews, Gears of War, Final Fantasy 15. Get the boys together, kill some enemies, cook some food. Let's go. It's a 9.
It's a 9, Jonah, with an amazing arsenal of weapons.
Oh, it's 10.
It's a 10. Woo! It's a 10, Mateo. And you got jetpacks.
Yeah, let's go. You can't take points off for jetpacks.
But you can still add points, Mateo. It's
an 11.
Yes!
It's a jetpack out of...
It's an 11, Caden, and it has a hopeless and amazing ending.
A hopeless and amazing what?
Ending.
Huh. I mean... we'll leave it at an 11 if it's a good ending. I don't know what that means.
Hell yeah. Hey, well, turns out the greatest game of all time is Halo Reach.
Whoa! Okay, that being said, it is the best of the Halo games.
Hell yeah.
It is the best
Halo. The jetpack.
Yeah. The jetpacks. When I got the jetpack, I'm not having it. Why would I have like jetpacks, dude?
Yeah, it's sick.
I think if they had released Halo Infinite in like its completed form with like the multiplayer campaign available from the beginning, it might have been a contender there, honestly.
And co-op, yeah. Had the jetpacks in.
All right. This is our last one. Do have a bonus one if we go for it, but this is our last one for the day. Jonah, it's a 10, but one song.
Ooh, one song?
There.
One song?
Is this a music video?
Tired of? Yeah, that's we'll just say it's an 8. It could be a bot, you know?
Well, there you go, Mateo. It's an. Did you say 8?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's an 8, Mateo, but what a banger though.
Oh.
Bring it up to a 9.
Ooh, it's a 9, Caden, with endless replayability.
I don't like that term. It sounds like microtransaction mobile field or live service game. So, we'll knock it down a peg. Actually, we'll make it average. We'll go down to a 7. I really don't like that.
It's a 7, Jonah. Wow, these graphics suck.
I think I know what this is. It's a 7. It's a 7.
It's a 7. Okay.
I know what
graphics
this is.
can suck and be a 7. It's a 7, Mateo. But it's the greatest puzzle game ever made.
Ooh.
The greatest puzzle game. We'll bring it up to 7.5.
Yes, respectable 7.5 for Tetris. Well done.
There you go.
I was going to bring up something about 4 squares, but
Tetris is actually a 10 out of 10. Oh well, we failed.
It's one of few 10s, which is.
Yeah.
Did you see that they're making a show about Tetris?
Yeah, it's about like getting the rights
like
to
the
it.
making. Okay,
yeah.
I thought they were trying to like
turn
the world of Tetris into a story. I was like, what?
I think that the blocks have names, don't they? Aren't they like
do.
Tetrinos or something?
Yeah.
And
Tetrinos and they have
all right,
individual
I don't.
We got time for that last one. Let's get it.
All right, sweet as. Okay, we're gonna do this one. Who are we on to? I think we're on to Caden.
I believe so.
Caden, it's a 10, but has a polyamorous protagonist.
I mean, I'm all about inclusivity. It's a 10. Let's go.
Nice. It's a 10, Jonah, with lots of leather.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh wait, I bet I know what this is already. I think I can guess this.
I'll say it's a 9.
Scared of the leather.
Mateo. Sex and violence.
We'll bring it up to a 9.5 there.
Ooh, that's growth.
Else is drawn.
It's a 9.5, Caden. Oh my god, there are so many map markers.
I think that's a clear negative, but I think the polyamory, sex, violence, and leather balances it out to even out, so it's still a 9.5.
Phenomenal. It's a 9.5, Jonah, with phenomenal side quests.
Oh, it's 10.
Nice. And let's just go one more, just for fun of it. Mateo, it's a 10, and it's got a unicorn.
I can't go any higher, dude. We can't give out 2 11s on this one. It's a 10.
The Witcher 3 is a 10.
Yes,
Thought I could trick you guys.
Nope, that all sounded good to me.
When you said violence, I was gonna give it a 69, dude. Like
the next gen version of The Witcher is like a 7 out of 10. Please fix it. I want to replay the game. Stop taking lighting options out. If I don't want to use ray tracing, please fix the glitches. But let it be known, Reach is a better game than Witcher 3, apparently.
Depends on the day of the week.
If Geralt had a jetpack,
oh, don't
Geralt with the jetpack.
Get out there.
This girl. Portals, damn portals. He ends up in Dead Space crossover.
Stomping necromorph.
Damn. All right. Well, thank you very much for the game, Steven. We appreciate you putting in the time and effort to set those up. It's always a blast. And with that, gentlemen, we've made it to the end of the podcast. Congratulations. Pat yourself on the back. We'll have our final thoughts. John, I'll let you go first. Anything you want to plug? Anything that's itching at the back of your brain?
Itching at the back of my brain. It is most likely going to be confirmed that we will be doing a game club for Resident Evil 4 Remake. And boy, oh boy, is that game looking very good. Yeah, we got another merch sale going on. I think the day this airs, I might drop this a day early. It ends on March 7th. So go get your GGD swag. It helps us do giveaways and all sorts of things for the community, and shirt sales have helped us purchase or commission like Miss Riven and Hunter Pearson to help out with creating this sweet logo and making the awesome music that you guys have heard throughout the show. So go buy an awesome t-shirt, go get a mug, go get a hat. We got all sorts of cool stuff. Check it out.
Sick. All right. And Mateo, final thoughts.
Go check out Dredge. I think it's going to be a sleeper hit. I think it's going to. I want it to be as appreciated as possible, and it looks like such a wild mix. I played the demo, and it blew my mind. So the game's coming out here soon, end of March. It's going to be so good.
Sick.
Stoked for that.
Sweet.
Sick. Steven, final thoughts.
Mika the Witch game, which looks like Kiki's Delivery Service meets Wind Waker, just made like 1 million euro on its Kickstarter, and it already looks great. So hopefully that means that it's going to come out feature complete and just be an awesome, another tight little game, something like another little Gator game or something. So stoked. Keep your eye on it.
I played the demo of that, and you fish by getting a jar or a fish bowl, and you just fly your witch broom over the water, and you just scoop the jar in the water.
That's so good.
And it's animal friendly. So like the guy who wanted to fish, he just wanted to like see the fish, and then he was like happy just getting to see the fish swim around for a bit, and wanted you to go throw it back in the ocean. So.
That's cute.
Yeah, cute game. My final thoughts are: there's so many games coming out that I just don't have the money to even afford to play everything I want to play anymore. So I'm like pretty close to like putting some bait out there for like a sugar daddy. I might be open to like sending some feet pics or some ass pics out there to like try to get somebody to pay for give me that Wolong Dynasty, give me that Octopath Traveler 2. I only got Resident Evil 4 money right now, so I got a baby on the way. But yeah, I've been your host, Katie Berthan Lane. This is the Great Game Debate Podcast. Thank you everyone for listening. And as always, happy gaming. Bye.
Bye.
As always, a big thank you to our friend Miss Riven for the music in our podcast. If you like what you hear and you want to check out more of what they have, you can pay them a visit on Twitter at MIST_RIVEN 719 or on Bandcamp at Miss Riven. Thanks again for tuning in. Till next time.
Mateo, can I get a sound check from you real quick? I got the other two.
Check. Mic check. This is me talking at around my normal volume level.
Can you get loud for me real quick?
Would you dismount a horse if you had to fart? So as a note from the One Up podcast, I saw a tweet the other day that said that horses are the most farted upon animal.
I was going to say, yeah.
It makes sense. Yeah. Would you dismount if you had to fart?
There's no unless you somehow could make it. Like, you'd have to have like a pretty big booty to like make a proper seal on a saddle. I think you'd be fine. Like, yeah.
Could you imagine just farting and then the horse like turns around and looks at you?
What the fuck,
dude? Could you imagine another animal you would just willingly fart on though?
Yeah.
Maybe when I'm sleeping, my cat is like.
I think
right
that needs to
against
be
my neck.
the next icebreaker question. What animal would you willingly fart on?
Not a gorilla. I'll tell you that much.
Definitely not a gorilla.